Embrace the sunny season with irresistible offers from 50 Floor. Elevate your living space with beautiful hardwoods, plush carpets, and popular luxury vinyl. Schedule a complimentary in-home consultation, and a 50 Floor professional will bring hundreds of samples right to you. Their skilled team manages every detail, including next-day installation for in-stock products. Dial 877-50-FLOOR or explore 50floor.com. Remember to mention promo code podcast for an additional $300 discount. That's 877-50-FLOOR, promo code podcast for $300 off. 50 Floor, the ultimate flooring experience.
Blog Talk Radio.
That we reviewed for this year so far, and I noticed somewhat of a pattern with a lot of the stuff that was picked by me. I take full blame. There were bands that put out albums that I picked to review specifically either because the band was close enough to mainstream or mainstream enough that I thought we should give them some attention, or these were albums that I was excited about because the previous effort was so good. And more often than not this year, I was disappointed. Oh, how I was disappointed. I mean, everyone's fucking in a UFO disappointed, okay? Surgical meth machine disappointed. Korn was the latest one, where I really was expecting, and I wasn't the world's biggest Korn fan, but I really was expecting big things from the Serenity of Suffering, and it was kind of a letdown. Now, some of the bands that either Rob picked or Desi picked, or that I didn't have any expectations for, ended up being really, really good. Grand Magus, Death Angel, phenomenal. Some of them, like Hatebreed, not as good as the last album, but still great. Tonight marks a stark change in the theme for 2016. Testament, one of the godfathers of thrash metal, one of the other big four that aren't Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. Their last album we reviewed on this show, The Metal Hammer of Doom, with your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich, and Robert Cooper. We reviewed Dark Roots of Earth, and it was amazing. And I had high hopes for Brotherhood of the Snake. It's been on the agenda now for quite some time once they released the drop date. And these boys did not disappoint. We finally have an album that I have been looking forward to for months that lived up to the hype, might even be better than Dark Roots. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the Metal Hammer of Doom, we will review Testament, Brotherhood of the Snake, and I couldn't be more excited. Here to tell me I'm overselling the album, the Metal Coop, Robert Cooper. How you doing, sir?
I think it's a overall a really great album. I just want to say that this is a testament to this monologue was a testament to the fact. I don't even make a pun there. That was a good one. Go me. A testament to the fact that I have great taste. Always take my recommendations. Anybody listening?
Yeah, okay, Victor. And Chuckles in the background there, the third chair. A permanent member of the show now, Jesse Starcher. How you doing, Jesse?
Man, I'm glad to be here talking about one of the most iconic thrash metal bands that's been around for quite a while. It's going to be an exciting night. I can tell you're jazzed about this one, dude.
Yeah, this is not one of the ones where I'm just like, can we just get this shit over with? This is not one of those nights. This is not one of those nights where I'm like, please, I just want to go to sleep, or I have something else I'd like to do tonight. I'm not trying to, try to watch a movie at the end of this because I've got Long Road to Ruin tomorrow. No, I did that on Sunday. I got all my TV shows watched. I'm all up to date now. I am all about Testament. I am ready to review this album, gents. Are we going to do this? Are we ready?
I'm in agreement.
Well, it can't be any worse than Hannibal Rising.
Did you hear our last Long Road to Ruin? I got mad. Like I'm generally accepting of bad movies. I happen to like a lot of bad movies. I happen to like a lot of movies because they are bad, in fact. But this one was so bad it made me angry. Like, there's bad, it was just incompetently made. Then there's bad, like, you had all the elements to make a competent movie and the budget and the craft people, and you still fuck it up. That makes me angry. When you have potential to make a good movie and you still mess it up. Yeah, I was
sad.
Did you guys hear the show last week?
I did not. I have got so many Radulich and Broadcasting Network shows to catch up on. I mean, I'm talking from probably like August. I haven't had a chance to listen because my podcasting ears have been tuned elsewhere because I found one that was like extremely binge worthy. So I apologize. I don't mean to let you guys down, but trust me, I'm going to have to catch up because you guys are like my friends, and it's like being outside of, 2 months on down the road. It's like finding out, Winfrey got a girlfriend or something, and I didn't know about it. That's going to be, and that's not a shot at him. I'm just saying,
All right. I could just hear him just no-selling that, like,
He would, too.
Yeah, I would.
Go nuts on that show and just start screaming and yelling about it.
I probably should. The iPod I've been using, which is my mother's, because I have a bad habit of just like, quote unquote, borrowing things, and they just kind of just end up in my possession forever. Yeah, it's doing that thing with old electronics where it's like 10 years old and the battery doesn't last. Yeah, so I've been trying to whittle through the podcasts I do listen to. I got like 12 subscriptions. Like, Jim Cornette's got a good podcast.
I listen to it.
Yeah, Jim Cornette is hilarious.
He really is.
Like, he's, like, the line, "She could fuck up an animal" is probably one of my favorite one-liners I've ever heard.
Yeah, his stuff
it's like
last week was pretty hilarious. Hey, incidentally, Coop, Sabaton's going on tour next year, and guess which state they're not visiting?
What was that? Sorry, I turned around.
Sabaton is up doing pirouettes in your room. Sabaton is going on tour next year, and guess which state they're not visiting?
Idaho.
Maybe. Probably not, actually. They're probably going to Idaho, but they are not going to North Carolina. Would you please move? Could you just move to a city that actually has bands come to it? I don't feel like – I feel like the world is off when Robert Cooper, who's so knowledgeable about metal, so passionate about it, lives in a state that nobody tours in.
Well, I think it's either A, rezoning, B, the Bible Belt, or C, all the above. Yeah, they've started coming to a lot of bars here in Greensboro, so that's about 40 minutes from the house. Not too bad, but it sucks because a lot of those, like, your Testaments, overkill. They might come to the Fillmore, but they won't probably sell it out as well as they did when they came to like the Tremont, which is a pretty small music club that got closed due to rezoning. They can make more fucking luxury apartments or some fucking bullshit like that.
Yeah, that happens. Incidentally, real quick, I took my wife to go see Living Color at Epcot Center in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. I sent you guys some footage of that show, and I what I said then holds true today. White people be crazy, but I have been sharing this with everybody, especially the black folks that I work with. If you want to see the most, like, a collection of the most uncomfortable white people in a situation, check out, if you can find footage of, or go to my Facebook page and scroll down till you find the little bit that I shot of Living Color performing a cover of Biggie Smalls' Who Shot Ya in the middle of Epcot. Okay, the happiest place on earth, Disney World, in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, otherwise known as Orlando. And you have 4 black fellas who really know how to play their instruments talking about Who Shot Ya, clearly with a frame of reference for cop on black man violence in a crowd of nothing but white people on vacation. It was hilarious. I might have been the only white person not sweating because of that, but just because it was hot out.
Man.
And it was funny because, like, before and after, people were fine. People were digging Living Color. The place was packed. This was like an outdoor pavilion. And you don't have to pay extra for it. You just got to get into the park. And they do these little concerts, you know, all through the fall during the Food and Wine Festival. But generally speaking, these are not political events, and they don't get, like, really angry political bands. I mean, my wife's favorite band, Sister Hazel, straight out of Gainesville, they play there almost every year. Other bands they've had there this year were Boys to Men, Soul Asylum, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, gosh, who else? Hanson. You know, so like I said, it's not exactly CBG. Do you know how many white women I've come across in the last couple of days who were telling me how much they wanted to see Hanson at this thing? Aren't those guys like 30?
As long as you don't have any middle-aged men saying they want to see Chris Hansen.
Anyway, I thought that was hilarious. I actually went Facebook Live for that because I needed the world to see it as I was seeing it. Living Color, Who Shot Ya, Epcot.
Wow.
I'll never have another experience like that in my life.
You know,
crazy.
I wish there would be nice fall festivities here in Winston, except it's fucking 80 degrees. So yeah, it's supposed to be like 55, maybe 60, like in that area. But no, it's fucking 80.
All right, Brotherhood of the Snake is the 11th studio album by American thrash metal band Testament, released on October 28th, right before Halloween, 2016. It is the band's first studio recording with bassist Steve DiGiorgio since First Strike, Still Deadly. Brotherhood of the Snake also marks Testament's 5th collaboration with Andy Sneap, who had mixed and engineered all of their albums since The Gathering in 1999 and produced Dark Roots of Earth in 2012, which you can hear Coop and I review on an earlier podcast when we were just starting out, and this was still the 411 Music Zone Review podcast. Remember those days, Coop?
Oh, I remember that. You were like, oh, I haven't listened to a Testament album in like 20 years. And I was like, wow, Mark Radulich, I didn't know that.
Hey, remember when we did a Pantera retrospective and I had the audacity to tell a little bit about my personal life and people left me nasty comments on 411? Remember that? Huh?
Good thing they weren't around for that Amon Amarth review of John's Viking.
Yeah. All right. Enough.
Get laid, you fag.
Alrighty, here we go. This is track 1, the title track. This is Brotherhood of the Snake. Jesse, how much do you know about Testament?
Oh, not a whole lot. I can tell you that my personal experience with them was probably about a year or so ago when I first upgraded to Spotify Premium, and somehow they got suggested, and I think it was the album, The Gathering. I got the chance to listen to, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are good. I can't remember which song it was that came off of there. I believe it was, I think it was Do Not Resuscitate. That was the first track off of there, and I think that's the first track that really caught my attention. And I was like, damn, these guys are good. So I went back and listened to the album. I was very impressed, especially for, if it was a couple years back, listening to a metal album from 98? 99? And yeah, I was absolutely impressed. Then, of course, I got to listen to a little bit of Formation of Damnation, which was I don't think that's as good as The Gathering, in my opinion. Now, as for prior albums, no knowledge, sir. I am a blank slate when it comes to any of the stuff prior to The Gathering. I have not gone back and dabbled or listened to anything prior to that. So that's about the extent of my knowledge on these boys.
Can I just say that Coop and I have been at this since 2012? That's crazy.
Right?
4 years.
Holy crap. I didn't realize we'd been doing this. All right, we're done with this show. Good night, everybody. Bugs.
We have reached the pinnacle. We're not even going to do the rest of the album. We're just playing one song, and then we're ending the show forever.
That's right. I can't handle this, man. I don't think I've done anything this long in my life.
Well, besides marriage, right?
I suppose.
He's got to do the math.
Yeah, I guess that's been going on for a while. That's got this podcast.
You don't have any binding contracts that say you have to do this podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, if I divorce myself from this podcast, it won't cost me any money. It'll actually save me some money. But no, I can't believe we've been doing the show this long. Jesus Christ Almighty! What was the first thing we started with? I know we did Death Clock, we did Testament in the beginning, we did the Hate Breed. Do you remember what our first show was?
I wanted to say was it Testament? Because we did, I think our second show was Black Country Communion.
Yeah, that was, you definitely said that.
Yeah, because I remember that one where we skipped my favorite song, and you're like, all right, this is this song. And I'm like, wait! Skip the song. I think, was it Testament? I think it was.
Googling 2011 in heavy metal music, and I'm seeing what albums. It wasn't when I mean, my daughter was born in 2011, and if we started in 2011, it had to have been like late 2011.
We started in 2012.
Yeah, I was going to say 2011 is going to put you in 5 years. 2016, Mark.
No, I know. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
I've got your back.
What I was saying was, we've at least been doing it for 4 years because Dark Roots of Earth came out in 2012.
Well, we've been doing it for almost, yeah, because we started in November of 2012. So, yeah, we're getting there. Are we getting there? Yeah. 12, 13, 14, 14. Holy fuck. You're right. You're right. Ooh.
All right. I'm
looking into this.
Yeah, did we review 13, or was that part of the Megadeth retrospective?
That was part of the retrospective. Your first review was Super Collider, because you remember you didn't listen to any Megadeth before.
Right.
Before that, because I made you listen to all of it. And then when you listen to Super Collider, you're like, oh, good thing you made me listen to everything, because damn, this album was bad.
Yeah, I was not happy. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in 2011 that we covered in the last half of it, so I don't think we did. I don't think we started in 2011. It had to have been 2012. All right. Now that we've annoyed everyone listening to this podcast, Brotherhood of the Snake, what do you think of it?
Man, I'll tell you right now, that'll kick your fucking face in for a first track. What a way to bring in the album. I mean, I loved this first Brotherhood of the Snake, which, by the way, I just want to point this out real quick. Killing time today, listen to the album 3 or 4 times. I also, if you have the opportunity, go onto YouTube. Nuclear Blast does a great job of getting in touch with, letting some of the artists talk about, putting the album together. And one of the things that was really neat is how they broke down the album cover. I mean, we don't talk about the album cover a whole lot on here, but this album cover is badass. It's like a 3-headed snake. But if you look, there's some people down in the in the snake's mouths, and the teeth are actually the sides that these people are holding, the teeth of the snake, and they pointed that out. So Brotherhood of the Snake, pretty cool. I mean, when you think of that track right there, I think of this album cover. And there's some other neat stuff on that album cover too that they were talking about how there's anointing water on the sides of the snake, on the sides of the snakes, but there's snake heads coming in there and dripping venom into the anointing water. Badass shit, dude. So anyway, Brotherhood of the Snake, first track, some great subject matter, by the way, which I think, if I remember correctly, this is one of those albums where they talk, these guys are talking about some conspiracy-laden shit. And I think Brotherhood of the Snake goes way back, dealing with some, I think it had something to do with manipulating religion. So anyway, hence, again, my reference to the album cover. So I enjoyed the first track. Absolutely.
Yeah, couple of things. One, really love this first song. This immediately went on the new workout mix for 2016 that I've dubbed. It's just chock full of douche music. keep me going, running.
That's not what you titled it.
to keep yourself clean, right?
That's right. But just as an aside, when they were when Marvel and Kevin Feige, I think it was putting out the movies for Phase 3, and was talking about them beforehand. Initially, and this might have just been a red herring from what I understand. I don't think they were ever actually considering calling it this. But they initially announced Captain America 3 as the Serpent Society. It was Captain America 3, the Serpent Society.
Okay.
And then after they had announced everything, and they had said, okay, and then we're gonna cap off Phase 3 with Avengers, Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, which is now just Avengers, Infinity War, and Avengers. Who the fuck knows? He went back and he was like, I'm not really wild about this. I'm not really wazooey about this idea of the Serpent Society. How about this? And he changed it, and up came Civil War, and the whole crowd just went crazy. Coop, what did you think of this first track?
I think I found out what our first show was. Death Clock, Death Album 3.
Agreed.
Yes. I thought that was a little later, but anywho, another cool thing about this album cover is I like that these three snakes, if you look at them from afar, just look like one cobra head.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, actually, I didn't notice there were three snakes at first. At first, I thought it was like, oh, it's one cool looking cobra head. This song here is fucking blistering. Like, this is the song, if my radio alarm clock still worked, would be the song that I would fucking blast every morning to get me up. Because it is just immediately 0 to 60 in no time at all. Fucking awesome. And it's a really good, I guess it's just a really good continuation of the sound that they had going on in Dark Roots of the Earth. I know a few things of note. Jesse sent out a link that kind of I thought was very interesting, talking about Chuck Billy, saying he didn't have a whole lot of fun making this album because Eric, it's not Eric Peterson. This is Eric Peterson. Give me a hot second. I want to make sure I got the right guy.
No, it's craps.
Yeah, Eric Peterson.
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, Eric Peterson did all the writing for the album. Because he said Alex Skolnick was too busy doing 800 different other things not called Testament, which I thought was kind of fun, which I thought was entertaining.
Yeah, he mentioned something about jazz or something, so I assume this guy has some kind of a jazz band or some shit, so I don't know much about Alex Skolnick, so I did see an interview that Livewire did with him, and he seemed pretty laid back. But, I mean, apparently he didn't put a whole lot into this album, according to Chuck Billy.
It says, I was looking at credits, it said he did the songwriting on tracks 8 and 9, but Eric Peterson did the rest of it. Did the lyrics for track 1, and Chuck Billy did the rest. Another thing of note was that Greg Christian, their bassist, left. I guess he just got sick and tired of the place. I don't know. It wasn't the first time he left. And just like last time he left, they brought in Steve DiGiorgio, who happens to be my favorite bassist, in the history of ever, to do their session bass duties. So that's fucking cool. The mixer of him and Gene Hoglan is great. The Human Atomic Clock mixed with one of the best fretless bassists I've ever heard. Yeah, I will say one criticism I do have of this album. Maybe it's just because I was listening to it while cleaning the bathroom, and I did a great job of cleaning the bathroom. It's the best cleaning job. In fact, I'm going to get the Mexicans to clean it, and they're not going to know about it. Anywho, there you go. I got one more week. I had to get that in there. But I didn't really feel like I heard a whole lot of the bass in the mix. It's very... It's very heavy on the guitar, which is fine because, hey, Eric Peterson, Alex Skolnick, great guitar duo. Yeah, and the fretless bass is a little more muted than the traditional one, but still, wish I would have heard a little more bass. Maybe on repeat listens I will.
All right, we're going to keep going strong here. I mean, a lot of albums this year, it was they'd start off strong and then immediately, trip and fall on the next track. not this one. This only gets stronger as it got on. This is The Pale King. Amazing. One of the things that occurred to me as I was listening to this album was, and I think this is why I got on this kick about wanting to see them live. This would be an amazing album to hear live. This just screams live performance for me. It's such a heavy album, and you're saying you can't hear the bass. I can tell you, I think in the mix, the drums. Now this isn't like Saint Anger where all you can hear is the fucking snare and it just sounds really skinny. I hear the bass drum in this, and that bass drum is very powerful, and I hear the guitar, and the guitar is very powerful too. And the reason why I'm mentioning it now is that Pale King, I think, is an example of those instruments. You could feel the instruments through your speakers, and it would sound so much better if I was hearing it live.
Yeah. I want to say that the subject matter of this song, have you guys, I don't know if you guys have had the chance, but have you seen any of the videos that they released for any of the singles? Because this is one of the videos that they released.
No. Nope.
Okay. Aliens. This song is about aliens. And that, my friends, is right up my alley.
Aliens.
That's a great, oh man, it's just a great topic for a song. But it's he does a great job. Well, they do a great job keeping it. Just they continue the pace. It continues to kick ass. But yeah, I have no qualms with this song whatsoever. This is probably one of the stronger tracks in my opinion. So, Coop.
One really interesting thing looking through the lyrics as the song was playing, we got the name drop to a deity that I had not heard of before called Anu, who is the Mesopotamian king of the gods, more or less.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently he's like the first, first known sky deity to be recorded in like any of the ancient religions.
Oh yeah, one of the things that they were talking about, and I believe it was Eric that was being interviewed. He was talking about how they meshed in this particular song. It was a representation of how they meshed religion and science, or they talked about how, if you go back in a lot of religions, there's many mentions of either UFOs or alien beings, sky gods. That's pretty cool. What was his name again?
Anu. A-N-U.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to track 3 here. This was actually the second single, rather. They put out, the first single was Brotherhood of the Snake, and that was released on September 2nd. On October 12th, they released Stronghold. Let's hear it now. This is Stronghold. Completely up tempo without losing the sense of groove. They slow it down just enough to to give you a bit of a change, and then they're boom right back again. Still going strong. Stronghold, very good. Not a bad song yet on this album.
I agree 100%. Let me just go ahead. I'm just going to agree with Mark Radulich here, and I want to kick it to Coop. Coop, I want your opinion on one thing, and then you by all means, go into whatever you want to go into here. But, looking at these lyrics, okay, every time I've heard this song, something stuck out to me. And, of course, I brought them up here looking at the lyrics. I'm just going to read this to you, and I want to get your opinion. We fight for survival. Fight for survival, fighting for your life. We're fighting for the reptiles, Coop. Now, can you please explain to me what in the hell that means?
I assume it means that our politicians are a bunch of cold-blooded snakes.
Oh, yes! That's what I needed right there. That's exactly what I needed.
Slamming the pogs. Slamming the pogs.
90s reference.
Yeah. I was almost like I was reading a top 15 things you didn't know about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as we're doing this podcast. And the funny thing is who wants to guess that I knew all of them? It mentioned slamming pogs. So I was like, yeah.
Slam the pogs.
Yeah, pogs are the shit. Anywho, this was this is a barn burner. Like, this burned so many barns that the Amish couldn't put them up fast enough. But yeah, it's fucking awesome song. It really reminds me that we're in an election year, and I could totally just morph these lyrics into whatever message I want to say about whatever candidate we have, including the thing that ended up in my mail yesterday telling me that I should not vote for Gary Johnson or Jill Stein or D's Nuts or the giant meteor of death. I should only vote for a major party candidate. And I chuckled, and my mom ended up ripping it up and throwing it away. But I told her I really wanted to keep that and put it in my room, just because a major political ad said, "These nuts got him."
Oh,
nice.
These nuts.
I didn't even know the giant meteor of death was also a candidate.
That's classic.
And you can
yeah,
expect you can expect more of this sort of political analysis on election night when myself, Robert Winfrey, Robert Cooper, possibly Andrew Graham, and many others will give you the election coverage as it's happening or as it ends, depending on how the night goes.
I hope you like me claiming a lot of people fuck farm animals.
All righty. Moving right along. I'm going to play track 4 here. This is not an Iron Maiden song. This is Old Testament. This is Seven Seals. Not quite as thrashy or as heavy as the previous 3, but look, not every slow song is a bad song, and that one was just fine. Robert Cooper, I know you like the slower tempo stuff more than I do. What'd you think of that one?
It was a pretty solid song. Very reminiscent of some of their, I'll say, kind of almost early 90s stuff. Because The Ritual, which had some fucking amazing songs on it, that was the last album of Alex Skolnick until 2009, actually. I think I'm right. I'm probably right. Just ask me. That one had a lot of mid-tempo songs. And quite honestly, along with Countdown to Extinction, I still consider those 2 of the best quote-unquote sellout thrash albums I've ever heard. That had a lot of the mid-tempo. I think this song really kind of fits in with some of the tempo that went with there. There's a few mid-tempo songs off of Dark Root to the Earth. They're not pure thrash. They're not quite Slayer to where everything has to be just pedal to the floor. But this was an interesting song. I think it was talking about 7 seals. I only really read 4 of them, which are the 4 Horsemen and Jesus with a Sword and a Crown, and I don't know, something about clubbing. I don't know.
Clubbing?
That's one of my favorite jokes. Well, it was one of my favorite jokes in high school. So a baby seal walks into a club.
Oh, boom.
Yeah. Oh, that's the sound it makes. I gotta say, once there was it was like some Discovery Health. It was showing like this helicopter coming down and the little seal trying to run away, and I was cheering for that little guy. The guy shows up, just starts beating the shit out of it. I admit I cried a little.
Oh.
He almost had it. I was like, oh, you were so close.
Let me just go ahead and step in here with my opinion on 7 Seals, which is my favorite song off of this album. I don't know if it's because they slow it down. I haven't. Incorrect. Well, sir. Well, you can disagree all you like, sir. But I could tell.
And you could be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Get Jason Peasley on the phone.
Your favorite song is Brotherhood of the Snake. Just ask me.
No, it is Seven Seals, and I'll tell you why. It's number one. I dig a song about the Book of Revelations. That is some. I mean, a story. The story of Revelation itself is just. I mean, it's crazy to kind of read something like that. I remember as a kid, I don't know what you guys were like when you guys were growing up. If mom was making you go to church or whatever, but Revelation. Okay, all right. Well, then exclude you from this conversation. The Book of Revelation was something that scared the absolute shit out of me. I mean, I'm scared as a kid growing up, understanding that this was something that I could potentially live through. So
right, hang on 1 second. Can you, for those of us who have not read the Bible in a while, and I have read the Bible, I've read it as sort of a historical, not historical account, but more of a, look, I know this is an important book to people. I should probably look and see what it says. And I know that at one point, a friend of mine and I, who are also Jewish, were like, what exactly are the Jews and the Palestinians fighting about? And, and we actually sort of reading through, some of the Bible, sort of figure out what the hell all the fighting is all about. So for those people who have no clue, have heard Revelations, but don't know what exactly you're referring to, what is the Book of Revelations?
Okay. All right. The Book of Revelations, by all means, I'm not the most scholarly when it comes to this because I haven't stepped foot in a church in a while, haven't read a Bible in a while. But, as a kid, I can remember reading, this is the, last book of the Bible. And it's pretty much telling you about the end of the world. And when you're brought up in a Christian family, you're told that this is the book, this is the good book, this is the truth, this is the way. And when somebody tells you that and hands you a book that tells you about the end of the world, it kind of really, it kind of scares you to your core. Because one of my biggest fears as a kid was that I was going to live through the end times that is, told in the Book of Revelation. And there's a lot of, a lot of destruction, a lot of, if you listen to the song and read the lyrics, he talks a lot about the seven seals where, they're opened up and the angel is reading these off. And it's kind of scary. And as you grow older, you start to realize that, boy, if something like that happened today, and there's many people out there that believe it could happen tomorrow, it would be an absolute change to the world, clearly. So just to have something a song like this that tells about what happens in the Book of Revelation really struck a chord with me. And now I don't know if you guys know you guys have any idea who's playing the guitar after like every other verse where the guitar kind of kicks in. I'm assuming Skolnick, but do you guys have any idea?
Give me a second, because actually
I don't know if that's. Go ahead.
I was going to say the people that actually put the lyrics in on Metal Archives gave us Where the Solos Lie too. Hey. Let's see. Eric Peterson gets the lead on this song, so
it's probably him chiming in there.
I think so, because the solo at the end is Alex Skolnick. But
okay. Well, regardless, that impressed me also, and I think watching the interviews that they were talking about on when they were doing the interviews on Nuclear Blast on the YouTube channel, those were actually, I think, piped in post-edit. Like after they did the song, they were like, well, let's throw some things in there and kind of spice up the song a little bit. And Chuck Biller's like, well, that's the fucking song right there. And by the way, I think this is also Chuck Billy's favorite off the album, Mark Radulich, just to go ahead and put that out there. But
he's also wrong.
Anyway, Seven Seals, my jam.
All right.
Now, are the Seven Seals, I'm sure 6 of them are SEAL Team 6. Would the seventh
That's later in the album.
Singer? Done. So I was gonna say we take those guys, even though there's probably more than 6 of them. Put them with the singer seal, and I really feel like we'd have a winning combination here.
Robert Cooper's getting silly.
Kiss from a rose.
Speaking of movies, I know Robert Winfrey hated this film, but Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. Love that movie.
Yeah.
Seal was in it.
Seal was in it?
Yeah, it's a mockumentary.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
It's Andy Samberg playing a fictional pop star who's a complete and total idiot.
I know he hates Andy Samberg, too. I happen to think he's funny on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I remember, it took me a long time to get into that show because I just refused to watch it because I hate comedy TV. But, they put it on, in between the Family Guy and The Simpsons and whatnot. So I ended up having to watch it because I just didn't want to, change the channel, or my wife would yell at me for changing the channel. So I ended up watching it. Now I'm addicted to the show. I think it's hilarious.
One of my favorites.
You're just as addicted as Captain Holt was to Crazy Cupcakes.
Yes. All right, this is track 5, Born Under a Bed Sign. No, this is Born in a Rut. Thunder. Sorry. Again, one of the slower ones. I mean, I obviously prefer the first couple to what we're getting now, but unlike previous albums, these are actually good. They're slowing them down. We're getting some different paces. But I'll tell you this. As I say this, I remember complaining about other albums this year having a case of the samesies, and I don't feel like that's the case with this one. I mean, the singing is there's no way to avoid it. The man sings one way, and what's he going to do, a ballad?
I'm going to start rapping backwards. This is what the band does.
Hey,
Billy rapping backwards.
He's done some good ballads, sir.
1,000 pardons. My point being that I think so as to avoid having a same Z's kind of an album, they're changing up the tempo of the songs, but they're keeping the same level of intensity, and that's really all I ask. Just don't sound like a bunch of fags, and I don't mean people that have sex with men. I mean a bunch of wimpy men. That's all I'm asking.
Mark Radulich, you want to talk about work real quick? Because I got a question for you based off of this song. This is a song. Yeah, this is a song about a guy who was, when he was born, he was pretty much dealt a shitty hand, and he just, nothing ever changed, and he could give a shit less to change. Have you ever met somebody while doing your job that, and I know this is probably mostly what you try to do with people, but has, was dealt such a shitty hand, but they actually turned it around?
Sure. Look, there are plenty of people who are born to impoverished families who don't have a strong male figure in their life, whether it be a father-type figure, not necessarily a father. I don't want to insinuate that only your biological father can make a man out of you, but that's not. I think both of you have stepfathers in your life, so that's certainly not the case.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of men and women who have had terrible things happen to them, have come from terrible environments, and went to prison, as a matter of fact, and came back and tried to improve their life, and in many ways succeeded. I think where I start to run into people is, despite no matter how hard they've tried and no matter how much they've succeeded, something happens. The system tilts upwards against them, and even with the best of intentions and trying to make some improvements, look, if you never get involved with a legal system, count yourself blessed, because it's very, very easy to do. Whether it's you just forgot to pay traffic tickets and got your license suspended, maybe possibly without even you knowing it, or your wife one day decides she wants to end an argument by calling the cops and saying you hit her when you didn't, which is a common one. Not that I think that the three of us are ever going to have this happen to him, but your friend says, "Here, hold this," and then your car gets stopped, and oh boy, now you've got a possession of drug charge that you didn't have before. It really can, to the best of us, wreck your life. And it's and the system is now set up so that it's very, very hard to then get your life back, because it's just, I don't know how else to say this except that it's kind of rigged against you. It's set up in such a way that you're sort of in this concentric circle of hell that you can't seem to get out of. And I would say, look, there are plenty of people who make terrible decisions, and they just continue to make terrible decisions, mostly associated with drugs. It's like, I don't understand why I'm always in jail, and then you're like, oh, okay, what kind of drugs are you using? Well, I smoke spice every day. I don't know if you know what spice is, but here in Tampa, it's very popular. It's legal synthetic marijuana, and it's very dangerous, and it makes people psychotic. But this is like, I hear this all the time. I don't understand why the cops keep fucking with me. Meanwhile, you're like, oh, okay. Well, do you use drugs? Yeah, man. I do heroin. I do spice. And it's just like, okay. And I don't feel bad for those people in the least bit, because you are actively making terrible decisions. But, like I said, there are other people who, we're all capable of making mistakes. I don't drink that much anymore, if at all. I don't think either one of you guys are big drinkers, if you drink at all. But one night you might drink and you might make a bad decision and you might kill a person. Because I've seen that happen. People have never had a problem. They have families, they have jobs, they have children, and you know they go and they have a beer after work, and they make a bad decision, and they end up getting into an accident and possibly killing a person. I've had that happen at least twice this year, recently.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah, and now it's DUI. Now they're up for DUI manslaughter, which is a hefty prison sentence.
Wow.
So I don't know if that answered your question.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at a lot of people. I know you deal with a lot more, people that are in a rut than I ever would. So just. To tie it back to this song, the subject of this song, this guy's talking about how he's been in a rut. People just look at him and think he's no good, and there are people out there that want to try and get out of the situation that they're in or the situation that they've been put in and try to better themselves. Then we got this guy here who's just like, I could give a shit less. Ain't nobody going to cry at my funeral. I'm not really going to do anything. I was born to lose. That's a defeatist attitude to have, but Chuck Billy thought it was or whoever wrote the song, there's people out there like that.
Oh yeah. Look, you asked me about the people who turn their life around, and they are in the minority. For the most part, I deal with people who, when I come in on the weekend, every Saturday and Sunday morning is the same thing. When the first thing, because I work in central booking, right? And the first thing that we have to deal with, and so we see everybody that comes into the jail, even if they're only staying for a couple of hours and then they're bonding out or they're leaving or whatever the situation is. It's always the same thing. 90% of what we're dealing with when we first come in on the weekends is DUIs. And we get all manner of beasts. We get really, really hot, rich women. We get a lot of Mexicans, and I'm not really making a joke about that. That's just a reality. We get a lot of drunk Mexicans on the weekends. And the reason why I bring this up as an example is everywhere you look, there are commercials and billboards and ads that say, "Don't drink and drive. Don't do it. Don't drink and drive. The limit is, don't call Uber, call Lyft. Call a cab, call your mom." They run commercials. I watch a lot of Hulu and a lot of on-demand video, and the commercials that are embedded with this stuff, a lot of it is anti-drinking and driving commercials. And yet, every weekend it's the same thing. People drinking and driving and getting caught with DUIs. But my favorite among those, just to kind of end this bit, are the people who refuse the breathalyzer and then wonder why they got arrested.
Wonderful.
I got
Coop,
charged with a DUI. Well, were you drinking? I refused to take the breathalyzer.
Oh, man. Coop, you got anything to add, man?
I had the community college chemistry class with two of your generic button-up shirt, khaki-shorted, boat shoe wearing honkies.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, and I quote, I drive better when I'm drunk. And I looked at him
on.
I don't think so. He's like, yeah, man, I'm a better driver when I'm drunk. I'm like, let me know when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please tell him to tell that to the cop that pulls him over for the DUI. But sir, I drive better when I'm toasted. All right.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm a better driver. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, my highlight of that class is when we had to take a swab of something around the classroom and put it in the little
Petri dish.
Gel,
yeah.
Little gel Petri dish and see what organisms grow at it. Yeah, I went inside one of the one of the we had sockets in the floor, so you lift it up, and then there's some light sockets there in floor level. Yeah, I put the swab in there.
I bet that collected some shit.
I think like the sample ended up, or all the samples ended up being messed up. But he was like, "Oh, that's disgusting." I'm like, "Right?" I was very tempted to go to a toilet, but I was like, "Ah, it's too easy. Let me find somewhere sure." Yeah, this song here though, the song kind of reminds me of Old Gil from The Simpsons.
Old Gil. You
remember Gil?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, it's like, hey, 30 more payments and I own this puppy.
He's like, don't you watch Old Gil's gonna come back.
Right.
He's gonna get it.
Born to lose.
Or Millhouse, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The only time Millhouse ever wins is when he's wearing his flood pants.
Everything's coming up from Millhouse.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Millhouse is up and he's full of beans. All right, incidentally, I'll tell this one quick work story and then we'll get back to music. So I had to share this with people. I like it was so irritating to me. I had to share it with other people. So I mean, you might not like get the embedded humor in this or understand why I was so frustrated. But I got called to talk to some. We had a complaint written about an inmate, and they called them BORFs, or which is short for like behavioral observation forms. And a BORF was written about this guy, and it's like he's having dreams about hurting his brother, and he might lose control, and he might try to hurt somebody in the pod, or in the dormitory. I'm like, okay, well, now, primarily, I have to make sure that the inmates are not going to hurt each other, or themselves, if it can be avoided. I mean, fighting is fighting. That's going to happen. But we're talking about they're going to attempt suicide or try to hurt somebody because they're psychotic. These are the things that I have to be aware of and I have to try to prevent. So I get this BORF on this kid, and I'm like, okay, well, we need to pull him out of the pod right now and go put him in a holding cell until I can get to him in the medical clinic. So I go down there, and I read his chart first, which is a radical idea among my coworkers, by the way. No one bothers to read their chart. I read his chart. He doesn't have any mental health history recorded. I read through all the scan stuff, and I find that, when he was there in 2010, before he went to prison, he was diagnosed with 2 different drug use disorders and antisocial personality disorder and developmental delay. So he's like he's basically a drug-using antisocial retard. Okay? You got all that?
You got it.
He's antisocial.
He's social. Now sing it in French. No. Sure, the song was originally in French. In any case.
By a band called Sun.
That's right. So I go and I noticed, I look at his housing history, another thing that I like to do that my coworkers don't seem to ever want to do. I look at his housing history to see if he's ever been housed in any kind of psychiatric housing in the jail. From what I can see, he wasn't, but I've noticed that since he's been here since May and he's had no mental health contact, but he's been all over my building. He's been moved like a dozen times. So I have them pull up his behavioral, which I don't have access to. I have to have a deputy do it. Deputy pulls up his behavioral file, and there's just tons of write-ups in there. And my favorite one was he was trying to make a deputy apologize for doing a room search. This was after he got caught with contraband.
You owe me an apology.
All right, so now you know I'm dealing with what kind of person I'm dealing with here, right? So I go and I talk to him, and he basically goes, I'm hearing voices. The voices are demons, and the voices are telling me that I need Ritalin, and if I had Ritalin, I would behave better.
Oh, come on.
Okay, let us review. The demons are telling me to hurt somebody, and I need Ritalin so I won't hear the demons anymore. Do you know what Ritalin is?
Yes. He clearly does not.
And it was funny because I actually said to one of the deputies, I'm like, being lied to is part of the job, and you can't take it personally, and you just kind of have to deal with it. But this moron didn't even know what the right lie was to tell me. Look, med seeking, that's going to happen, and you can't get angry about it. Lying, and that's what I mean by lying. I should specifically lying about needing medication, because like the big thing in an incarceration setting is people just want to sleep through it. So they'll say, I'm hearing voices, because they're hoping that you'll give them a medication that'll just make them sleep.
Can I ask a quick question? Just a quick question.
Yes.
Can you placebo them? Like give them something and say it's something when it's not?
Well, I can't give them anything. I'm not a psychiatrist for the zillionth time.
Okay.
I have to tell people that constantly. Not a psychiatrist. Wish I'd gone to medical school. I wouldn't have financial problems right now. But I'm just merely a lowly social worker. So yeah. So this idiot tells me he needs the old Ritalin so that he won't hear the demons anymore. And I'm like, you're so stupid, I'm putting you on suicide watch just because you're that dumb. Like, not necessarily suicidal, but so stupid that I feel like he is a danger to himself. I don't want this guy walking around anymore. So I literally put him on suicide watch for being a moron.
Nice. Very nice.
I told a bunch of people I work with that story just to see if anyone was going to complain about it, and they were like, "Nope, we're right there with you. Good call." Go ahead, Stuart.
I had a friend of mine once that tried to kill herself on a holiday weekend, so then got stuck up in the mental hospital for like a 3-day weekend. She's like, "Yeah, they told me I was trying to kill myself because I wouldn't eat." She's like, "But the chicken was raw. I was the only person that didn't get salmonella."
Wow.
That's why you got to talk to these people. You know how many people have said, I'm on a hunger strike, and I was told you should put them on suicide watch, and I was like, why don't I try asking them why they're on a hunger strike first? I'm just saying, I work in the mental health field. Maybe I should talk to a motherfucker every once in a while. Ask him a question or two. It's a radical idea. And I've been told, and 9 out of 10 times, somebody who's on a hunger strike is mad at the deputies. And that's why they're doing it. They're not suicidal.
I think you should, next time, instead of giving them placebo, I think you should play the band placebo on a loop and see if they really want to kill themselves.
I don't think you understand how dumb the people I'm dealing with are. And with that said, let's play Centuries, speaking of dumb people, Centuries of Suffering. Beneath the Remains era Sepultura vocals on that one. That's what that reminded me of. Very reminiscent of Beneath the Remains era Sepultura. What'd you think, Coop?
I could definitely hear that. Yeah, I can hear what you're talking about in terms of a sort of a Sepultura vibe. Something that Chuck Billy really brings to the table, and was definitely something they visited on their Demonic album in '96, was his more of a death growl that he has to it that he can bring to his vocals. Works really well.
Yes, and I think that was demonstrative of that style on that song. Jesse, what you got for me?
Centuries of Suffering. Pretty simple song, just about the horrors of war that men have brought upon the earth, and as it's evolved. It's cool to see how Testament picks the stuff that they're going to, the songs that they're going to sing about, because I noticed a lot of the interviews, or one of the interviews that I was watching, they were talking about how they usually stick with the real world shit, the stuff that's happening now. One of my favorite songs by these guys is the one off of the one about the towers falling. Mark, you probably know this one off the top of your head. I would assume. Crap. Anyway, I think it's off the last album where when evil flies in or something like that. But anyway,
the evil has landed.
Thank you. That is a great song that they bring to life the atrocities that occurred on that day, and about how they felt. You could tell there's so much emotion in that. This particular song, I wasn't the biggest fan of this song. I don't think it's the weakest off the album, but I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. But the subject matter, yet again, I think it's very reminiscent of a Testament song that I've heard before. So it's good. It's heavy. It's in your face, and it's Testament.
All right. Let's pick up the pace a little bit here. Let's move on to Jesse's favorite song off this album, Neptune's Spear. Jesse Starcher, what's a Neptune Spear?
Neptune Spear. Man, I took to the internet because if you listen to the lyrics of this song, it's clearly not about the depths of the sea. This is about a military operation. And I was picking apart some of the stuff, thinking, well, this has to be something to do with like either bin Laden or Saddam Hussein. and the search for them. And sure enough, when you head to the internet, you learn a lot, and that's what the Metal Hammer of Doom has done for me ever since I've started listening. I've learned something new every time we have an episode. Neptune Spear is the code name for the operation of when they went in and killed Osama bin Laden. So this song, again, is representative of some real-world shit, some stuff that went down. And they, again, tying it back to the when the evil Coop, was it the evil has landed? I forgot it already.
Yep.
Tying it back to that, about you could tell when they wrote that song and they sung that song, that event affected them greatly. So to hear this song about the killing of Osama bin Laden does not surprise me one damn bit. And it's a good song. I really enjoy it.
Cool.
It was a pretty good song. I had no idea it was about the military, but SEAL Team 6, right? So, that was like one of the craziest evenings. Like, I sat around, it's like, oh, President's got something to announce. I'm like, oh, shit. Did we get fucking Osama? Did we get him? And then I waited for like an hour. I'm like, God damn it, I want to tell my kids about it and go to bed.
It's funny. I think that was the night of, this was announced on a Sunday. I believe it was Extreme Rules a couple of years ago, and I was there. That was in Tampa, and John Cena came out and made the announcement.
Oh, I remember that.
John Cena's name's John Cena. He's the one that fucking caught Osama. He just wanted to give the military a boost.
I remember that. I remember them replaying it, and I think I saw it. I remember watching it again on YouTube, and I mean, didn't he come out and just be like, "We got him" or something like that?
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. I have a very special announcement to make. I can't wrestle, and we got Osama.
But luckily we have his relative Juan Cena.
Juan Cena.
All right, here's a song about gambling, maybe. This one's called Blackjack.
I'm not a fan. This is probably I think the weakest song on this album.
Here's what I'll tell you. I don't think it's a bad song. I think it's fine. It's just not their strongest song on the album.
Okay.
Like, I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with it, but I wouldn't argue with you if you were like, let's move on to the next thing here.
I will quickly point out something that I believe is wrong with this, and that is heads you win, tails you lose. Okay, I did that shit in 5th grade to all my friends. Hey, you want to play a game? All right, heads I win, tails you lose. But so anyway, this is a song about. It's a simple song about gambling with your life. I think Chuck even said that this was a song that he really struggled with trying to write. I think he said it took him 4 versions of lyrics and trying to get this song out there. Filler, in my opinion. I think this is probably one of those ones. Well, Coop, you read the article about how pissed he was about trying to get these guys into the studio. And finally he's just like, fuck it. Okay, studio time is so-and-so. You got to meet us on this date. And the rest of the guys are like, we ain't even, like, wrote the shit yet. He's like, too fucking bad. Be there. So,
I'm not into kind of stories.
So, you know, this feels like one of those songs that came together, and I don't believe they were pleased with this one, in my opinion. But I don't know the guys that well. I just know what I watched, so I'm not a fan of this one.
See, when you said heads I win, tails you lose, I was like, oh, what Megadeth song does that remind me of? Oh, yeah, Crush 'Em.
Here comes Goldberg.
Yeah, that was that was lyrics in the song. Speaking of wrestling, did y'all watch that video I sent?
I did, yes.
Have you seen it before?
No, that was the first time I ever saw it. He was fucking blitzed, dude. Jake the Snake was blitzed.
It's Jake the Snake, probably drunk and or coked out of his mind, doing a promo. He was like, you know, you don't gamble with me. Okay, you want to play blackjack? I want to play 21. I've got 22. Want to play aces and aces?
You got to play 21. I got 22. Dude, that's not how you fucking play blackjack.
Oh my god.
You want to play aces and eights? I got 2 of those too. It's like, have y'all ever heard of the Heroes of Wrestling event pay-per-view from the 90s?
Yes.
Nah, I have not.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, Jesse Starcher. I'm gonna have to send you one of those, like, the wrestling YouTube channels. We reviewed it recently, and dear Lord Jesus, it's got fucking because they let Jake Roberts wrestle in that condition, so he came out, tried to, like, get a fan to fondle his moves, like, use Damien as his wiener.
Wow.
And then in order to save the show, it turned into a tag team match player with Yokozuna, I think, weighing 800 pounds at the time.
Gosh.
That dude had more ass than a donkey farmer. Like, yeah, actually, one of my favorite things to drop as a joke, because I have a sick sense of humor, is Yokozuna apparently ate himself to death pretty much, because he was in, like, a sleep lab at Duke University, and he would sneak out, which I don't know how a man that size can sneak out, but sneak out and go to Burger King at, like, midnight and eat burgers while he was supposed to be on a special diet. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
The reason why I bring it up is because I'm always like, yeah, I bet his last words were, Tommy, you lose weight. He's talking about Tommy Dreamer, I'm sure.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, my friends and I have we have very sick senses of humor, and by we, I mean me.
I can see it.
All righty. Are we ready to move on here?
Blackjack.
You want to play 21? I got 22.
I got 22. You stupid motherfucker.
All right. As election day approaches, we are looking at another round of pot legalization. So that makes the song very timely. This is track 9, Count Up Business.
favorite thing to ask people at work is, do you do drugs? Because their answer inevitably is, does weed count? I gotta ask myself, like, hey, are you using any kind of drugs, anything you're gonna detox off of? Does weed count? Yes, you fucking Momo. Yes. Weed counts. My other favorite answer is, I smoke cigarettes. Does that count?
Oh, now you're just being a smart ass.
No, they're really not, though. That's the funny thing. Like, legitimately don't know how to answer my question a lot of times.
Stop giving him a third degree, Mark Radulich. Jeez.
I know, it's just central booking. We just gotta make sure everyone's not in our custody.
Oh, damn.
Crazy.
You know, there are many ways I could think of turning that into a yo mama joke, but I'll refrain.
Okay. Wait, now I want to hear this. What do you mean turning that into a yo mama joke?
Well, what? How I would turn it into a mama joke? Oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, I don't smoke, but your mother smokes my pipe. You know.
Oh. Get the tomatoes. Grab the hook.
Hey,
Wow.
you know what? Hey, I said I would turn it into a yo mama joke, not I would turn it into a good one.
Good one. Oh man.
I mean, you can't win them. You can't win them all.
No.
Just like at the library. Just like at the fucking library. Get this one, fellas. So I'm sitting there yucking it up with the librarian since the fucking library system wouldn't send me my manga because apparently it's too far away. It's bullshit. But I dropped by my Italian horror. Yeah, I dropped by my Italian horror film that I checked out from the library. Woot woot. Suspiria, Dario Argento. It was good. Loved it.
I love the fact that the story starts off with Coop couldn't get his manga sent to him. Fucking hashtag white problem.
It's too far away, Mark. He don't understand the library system. Don't worry about it there, Coop. Don't listen to him.
Okay, I see. He's been deprived. But
Yeah.
I'm sitting there yucking up with the librarians, telling them some of my favorite ones, which I think I told the story of when my store manager said, "Robert, I need you," and my response was, "I'll take things women never say to me for $500."
Waka waka.
Oh, she was great. Good thing she, the sales manager, and our LP, loss prevention officer, all have great senses of humor because they were all dying. Yeah, so I was yucking it up, and they go, "Man, we should set him up with Nikki, who's a chick that used to work there. Pretty cute, you know. She looks like she'd be a fun person to talk to." And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." And then I just kind of keep yucking it up from there. And then on the way home, I'm like, I didn't give him a phone number or anything. I mean, technically they could just use the system because my phone number's in the system, but I don't know if they could legally do that.
I'm sure they could if they really wanted to, but as I have discovered over my 40 years, no one gives a shit about anybody that much.
Yeah, that's...
Like, I'm sure it was a nice sentiment and even an honest sentiment when you were physically in their presence. But the moment you walked out of that library, they forgot about who you are, what was said, and possibly their own name.
Oh, they know me because I don't get as much stuff as I used to, but for 6 months I'd show up two times a week getting 6 volumes of manga.
She's gonna recognize that face.
That's right. They would recognize this beard, which I trimmed it to a reasonable size. I trimmed it to just looking nice and reasonable because it was looking like hobo Jesus.
I would probably put money on the fact that you are probably on the only 6-foot bearded man that comes in there picks up manga at that library. Money down.
Yeah, that would be correct. In fact, they tell me I'm the only adult that comes and picks up manga there. Or picks up stuff from the section because it's in the young adult section. Like, yeah, you're the only one that picks it up. I'm like, huh. I told him, yeah, I've been reading a lot of it, and actually, I was reading a good amount of it over the past few weeks. But then I started playing Pokemon. Man, I'm almost 20 hours in, and it's only been a week.
Pokemon.
I wonder if they have a
Pokemon
side bet going, or how long before you check out the Anarchist Cookbook or something.
They got a file on Coop. It may not be like a written file, but trust me, they're taking notes. They're watching his moves and just to see what he checks out, what this crazy guy's going to check out next.
I'm guaranteed. Rob walks around the library, his local library, and they got one person there just following him around, making sure he doesn't fall.
No library loss prevention. They're not really concerned about you taking anything, Coop. They're afraid you're some crazy guy.
Some child.
Hey, I pay all my fines.
Adult reading children's comic books.
I once had to pay them $10 because I forgot that I had 3 things due. One was a movie that was a week due, so it was $1 a day in 5 days. 2 new arrivals, so that was $1 a day on those. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, that hurt. Yeah, that did hurt. But it's a really small library, but I did once look into their kind of office area of sorts, and I did see these people are not allowed in here wall.
And they actually have like a blacklist law or a blacklist wall?
Well, it's got to be black.
I mean, well, it's funny because I asked them how many weirdos do you get, and they're like, not too many. And I'm like, well, yeah, this isn't the city because it's pretty rural. It's it's like 15 minutes outside of Lexington, which is now a shit show, and 15 minutes out of Winston, which is a small city.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this show is brought to you by the Tourist Board of North Carolina.
Public library system.
Yeah. Come to Lexington, where we have abandoned furniture buildings, poverty, and racism.
Enjoy it all. I just want to say something.
Come for the abandoned buildings. State racism.
I want to take it back to the can of business real quick. Okay? Just real quick. It's one thing that takes me out of this song is you do not hear many thrash metal songs talking about laws. Number one, I should say laws that actually are working in a positive way. I mean, you can listen to Megadeth all day long and listen about how politics and fucking laws have screwed you in the ass. But then you get this song right here with Can of Business, and it's so different to hear them actually, somebody sing a song about how actually things are turning around for the better. Interesting. By the way, Chuck Billy has his own line of vaporizers. Just putting that out there.
All right.
Rev up your engines, guys, because this ain't your daddy's Ghost Rider.
God damn it.
The hell?
And I just accidentally closed the studio. God damn it. Fuck my life.
Damn.
All right. God damn it. And we're back into the studio now? Yes, now. All right, here we go. And we're back. So that was Can of Business, yeah?
Can of Business.
Track 10.
Open up a Can of Business.
Everybody. This is the number game. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give my final thoughts on the album as a whole. I give this a solid A. This has been one of my favorite albums of this year. None of it bored me to fucking tears like some of the albums we've covered this year in the past. I just didn't yell out nope at any time. That's big for me. We lost Robert.
Oh, cool.
About that time. But overall, excuse me. I thought this was a stellar effort by Testament. They avoided the samesies. I thought they had some really interesting songs on here. They kept it heavy. They kept it in your face. I will be adding some of these songs to my douchebag workout mix. Keep me running. And I'm really happy we got to do this before the end of the year. It'll be, I think, Metallica will be out in a couple of weeks. They've got a tough order to fill to be better than this album. And, they're a talented band. They've got a couple of good songs out so far, so we'll see. But, just looking at some of the bands we're going to be covering before year's end. Excuse me, pardon me. Looking at some of the albums we're going to be covering before year's end, I don't see too many that are better than Testament. Different, but not better. So we'll see what happens. Jesse?
All right. Yeah, a strong showing in my opinion. Not a sleeper on the album at all. It's all mostly heavy in your face. I'll give it a thumbs up easy. I don't think this is a bad album in any way. I agree with you 100%. There's not a point in this album where I go, go ahead and get to the next song. I will tell you that the first 4 songs on this album are probably the strongest, and it's great that they put them right there at the beginning because when, I'll stick around after those first 4. It's not like I'm going to turn this album off, but I'll tell you right now, those first 4 are some kick-ass songs. Brotherhood of the Snake, Seven Seals. I was hooked listening to this album. They can't keep up that pace the whole album, is what I said to myself. And they didn't, but it isn't like it fell off the face of the earth. So, yeah, I agree. Thumbs up. Do we get Coop back?
Yes.
All right. Robert Cooper, sir.
That was weird. I was like, all right, Mark's talking. Then I'm like, where'd Mark go? And I look at the phone, and it's like, no, it's still going. I'm like, okay, well, this is odd. And then it just went dead, and it hung up, and
damn it.
Jesus Christ, sounds like the modern day dating scene. You're just looking at your phone going, is that me or is it you? You want to play 21? I got 22. Issue. So, this album, great fucking album. Really enjoyed it. As a successor to Dark Roots of the Earth, I feel it's definitely worthy. Is it better? I don't know. It's going to take some repeat listens. Am I going to buy it? Probably brand new this time. For once in my life, I might just buy it new, at the right price, of course. Yeah. Not really a bad song. Not even a bad song of this album. Every song of this album is good. There's some great ones. Quite frankly, if you're looking to listen to something, fucking make your day go by faster, this album will do it. Fuck it, 9 out of 10.
Nice.
All right, plugs real quick. Halloween, Jesse Starcher and Gavin Napier brought you to Witch Doctor. I saw the Witch Doctor, and he said, I love you.
Almost opened with that one. Almost.
You should have. I saw the Witch Doctor. Anyway, so source material, the Halloween special, Gavin came on. He made his yearly appearance here on the Radulich Broadcasting Network, and they talked about the Witch Doctor. Inferno, yet another movie that's doing pretty well overseas and bombing in the U.S. No one fucking saw this movie. Nobody cared. Poor Tom Hanks. Poor Dan Brown, for that matter. Robert Winfrey and I reviewed Inferno last night. We talked about the art of adaptation. We talked about, popcorn movies and just generally lowering the bar on American films. Now, basically, American audiences ruin what might have been a proper adaptation. We also talked about where this right now. We kind of gave a preview of our year-end special. We talked about what's going on with the studios and how basically Disney has the potential to own 2016 in like 7 of the top 10 spots. They currently own the first 4. They've got 3 more movies coming out before the end of the year, which could all potentially make up to $1 billion. They will definitely make more than 500,000, putting them easily in the top 10. Those movies were Rogue One, the Star Wars movie with Felicity Jones where they steal the Death Star plans. That's got $1 billion potential. Moana, which is the latest princess movie, that's got $1 billion potential. And Doctor Strange, which is what we'll be reviewing next week, that also has $1 billion potential at the rate that it's going. So go ahead and check out that show. Tomorrow night, Long Road to Ruin, we will be reviewing the first 2 Harry Potter movies. Next week is Doctor Strange week and election week, as it were. I'm going to be on source material.
Strange and election. That's funny.
Yeah, indeed. It will be strange, that's for sure. We're going to be looking at The Oath on source material. Now, Tuesday is going to be a weird duck, and here's why. Tuesday, we're going to do a Doctor Strange review, myself on Damn You Hollywood, but we're going to start the show at 8:30. I want to try to keep it to an hour, no more than 90 minutes, so we're going to do a hard break at like 5 minutes to 10, because at 10 o'clock, possibly 9:30, if I can get this done early enough, we're going to do a special election night show, and that's going to be on YouTube. Yes, we are actually doing a Google Hangouts live through YouTube on election night. We're going to be looking at the coverage. We're going to be looking at the states as they, as the news calls the election for one state after another. Usually, if you're an East Coast person like I am, 8 o'clock the polls start closing, and you start to have an idea of where each of the candidates lies. It's a fun night if you're into the hilarity of elections and politics in general. So Robert Winfrey, Robert Cooper, Andrew Superfan, Andrew Graham, we're all going to just kind of hang out and talk the election. This is not one of these deals where, I don't really care who you voted for. Like, if people want to come into the chat on the show, talk about it, complain, if you're a Hillary fan and it looks like Trump's going to win and you want to whine about it, that's fine. If you are a Hillary fan, if you were a Trump fan and it looks like Hillary's going to win, despite the latest email scandal, be my guest. I'm not going to criticize you for who it is you vote for. I can't promise Winfrey won't, but I pretty certain he's coming out with both guns smoking. So we're going to do some election coverage. We'll see how that goes. It'll be fun. I always enjoy watching the election. I voted already, but I don't have an emotional stake in the election. I'm just not that guy anymore. The next Metal Hammer of Doom next week, we're going to be going into the Wayback Machine just a little bit. We did not review this when it came out. We're a little late on it, but I wanted to get it on the schedule, mostly for Robert Cooper's sake. We're going to be reviewing Opeth, Sorceress, which I have not listened to yet. It's been in my queue, but I haven't listened to it. And then on Thursday the 10th, we will have the second installation of Harry Potter, the next 2 movies on Long Road to Ruin. And one more quick announcement. The week of the 15th, we're going to be messing around with the schedule a little bit because I've got some stuff going on. We're going to do Long Road. We're not going to do there's no Damn You Hollywood that week. We're going to actually move Long Road to Ruin to Tuesday, the 15th. Metal Hammer of Doom, same time. It's going to be our pre-Thanksgiving show. Actually, why aren't we doing it the night before Thanksgiving? Well, that's because Metallica comes out Friday, and we'll be reviewing it the day before Thanksgiving. So our annual Thanksgiving show will be on November 16th. And what makes a Metal Hammer of Doom Thanksgiving show special? We review a terrible album, a turkey, as we like to call it. And this year's turkey selection is Anthrax Stomp 442. What a bad album. And that's going to be it for that week. We'll come back with the next two Metal Hammer reviews after that, November 23rd and then November 30th, will be Metallica, Hardwell, The Self-Destruct, Part 1 and Part 2. They broke that into a double album. We're going to review the first album on the 23rd, the second album on the 30th. And that's the next couple of shows through the end of November. Jesse, gone.
Myself? Plugs for myself?
Yes, the ones that I didn't do for you.
Okay. Yeah, you can follow me at Stiznarkey on Twitter. Don't forget to give the Radulich and Broadcasting Facebook page a like. Hey, just in case if you guys have Spotify, anybody out there can go check out what we've covered so far this year. The playlist is called Best of MHOD. No, excuse me, I messed that up. Hashtag MHOD 2016. So you can check out all the great albums, at least 99% of them, because I think Dunsmuir is not on Spotify. But you can check out all the ones that we've covered, listen to every single one of them, and then you may be prepared when we do the end of the year special. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'll post a link of that on the Radulich and Broadcasting Facebook page. I do want to go ahead and give a quick update here at some point, maybe next week, in any open slots that I can fit it into. I am going to, me and Benjamin J. Cologne talked last night about his experience at New York Comic Con. So we spoke for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I might split that up amongst a few shows. But anyway, we talked about New York Comic Con. We talked a little bit about his encounter with Stan the Man Lee. And also we talked about the passing of Steve Dillon, one of the great comic book artists that happened there a couple weeks back. So keep an eye out for that. If you guys like comics, check out source materials right here on Mondays, usually on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. And that, my friends, is all that I have for plugs.
Oh, boy. That means it's my turn to plug things that I still haven't done. Okay, there's this podcast. I'm on it. We've plugged it. It's pretty nice. Go listen to it. Then there's the Sentai Happy Got Fun Time podcast that I like to call the Sentai Rider podcast. People keep liking our page. I don't know why. We've not released anything in 2 years, but I'm up to date on the current Kamen Rider series. So, yeah, someday. Someday. Yeah, I'm hoping sometime soon because I have a lot of free time.
And sorry.
Yeah, I mean, and hopefully, like the Cubs, it won't take me 108 years.
High ball game, by the way, folks. It's 6-6. I assume still 6-6. Top of the ninth, maybe.
Can I be my dad for just one moment and say I haven't watched the baseball game since the Dodgers left Brooklyn?
I thought you were going to say it was rigged. You could be like my mother and be like, oh, it's rigged. They rigged this to be like this. I'm like, I hope the Cubs lose just to be a dick. Just because I think that would be absolutely hilarious.
God. Okay.
Well, but if they do win, could you imagine? All the Warriors blew a 3-1 meme are about to get flipped over to the Indians. Why? That would be amusing, so greatly amusing. Anywho, Sentai Rider Podcast. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Sentai Rider Podcast. That is SENTAIRIDER podcast. Yeah, we do Tokusatsu, and Kamen Rider was good. We could have done the new Godzilla film if when I went to see it, it was sold out when I went to go see it. Like, we were literally, like, me and my buddy Nick, person I should get on this podcast, or next pair of people in line. And they're like, oh, we're sold out. And then I dropped a very loud GD.
Oh, man, I would have cussed.
Very, very. Oh, I screamed. I was like, God damn it. And they're like, well, you could come back Tuesday. I said, fuck your Tuesday. I got work.
Oh, no.
Fuck off.
Fuck your Tuesday. I was like, fuck your Tuesday. I'm sure you do. I got work.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, I was angry. I was so angry because that was the only chance to see that film for probably another year. if not longer, because it's not getting released on DVD for a little bit, I'm sure. No, then again, they did flip the Rurouni Kenshin live-action film pretty quick, so maybe we'll see. But yeah, I was livid, which was funny because I'm usually very, very polite to people in customer service because I'm like, dude, I feel you. I know where you're coming from.
Well, this is fucking Godzilla, damn it.
Oh, I felt bad when we were driving off. Some poor fucker, like 45-year-old, no hair, mustache, spare tire, with a Godzilla figure on his forearm, like a fucking parakeet. Walking in there, and I'm like, oh, that poor bastard. He just don't know. Oh, bless his pumpkin pie little soul.
Oh my gosh.
Which that was once said in my vicinity. Oh, bless your pumpkin pie heart. Because if you're not that's how Southern women insult people. So I feel like that's pretty nice. But yeah. Other plugs, WTMnet.com. My buddy Sean Garmer, his podcasting network, Wrestling to the Max, as well as Sports to the Max, Video Games to the Max, some about a wackety sax. I don't know if Heatley maybe did show up on one of those podcasts, because, again, don't you have a podcast of your own? Which is there any more cheap seats, or did they all get bought out because bandwagoners showed up?
Oh yeah, I have not heard. I know the man he's still around, and I believe he plans on podcasting at some point. But one of these days,
God, don't tell me he's went the way of the Coop. He's like, want to do a podcast? Sure. And then when we start, we just end up talking on Skype for 2 hours and be like, it's late.
Yeah, we'll do this some other time.
Yeah, next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Just you guys powering up for a podcast for like five non-episodes.
Sounds like somebody's going to blow a fucking O-ring the whole time.
Oh, shit.
That'll do it.
End it,
What?
I said end it.
I'm done.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. I guess when you hear from us again, we'll have a new president, maybe, kind of, sort of. So that'll be fun, huh?
It'll be either Jill Stein or D's Nuts.
Please be D's Nuts.
It'll be neither.
Both will
Hillary
be
Rodham
equally
Clinton
as
or Donald
qualified.
Trump. Let's not get silly.
Too late.
What if the giant meteor of death shows up? Huh?
All right. Here's my answer to that. Let me give you this answer. I'm very serious when I say the following.
Let's sing the outro. Ain't no sun where I go. I stand where no roses grow. Got strength in that typhoon. We need the power of love.
Well, we got a minute. I'm gonna buy that truck I've been wanting.
Wait, don't you need, weeks to shop for a car?
I don't. Carvana makes it super convenient to find exactly what I want.
Hold up. You're buying a car on your phone? Isn't that more of a laptop thing?
You can shop wherever you want.
I like to do my research, read reviews, compare models. Plus, Carvana has thousands of options. How'd you decide on that truck?
Because I like it.
Oh, that is a great reason.
Go to Carvana.com to sell your car the convenient way.
Who do you see when you look in the mirror?
Someone who wants to make change in their community.
Who do you see when you look in the mirror?
Someone who's striving for more.
Who do you see when you look in the mirror?
Someone who is just getting started.
You have the power to create the change you want to see with Walden University. It's time to join more than 174,000 alumni making change happen. Walden University. Set a course for change. Visit waldenu.edu.